Yalla Home
with Ella Schofield
and Big House.
And we're live across the Emirates on such a special day. It's such a special day. Of course, the probe, currently the UAE probe, is on its way to Mars.
100%, Anna, and this is just, just amazing. I'm trying to see if I can play, a little bit from that kind of national anthem vibe we had on the National Day. But it is definitely a historic day and a historic moment as... the whole probe is set to make history with the orbit attempt, and it is actually live now, updates as we speak. It's the UAE and the Arab region will make history, inshallah, tonight with the arrival of the whole probe to Mars. This is the Emirati-made spacecraft approaches the red planet. It faces the kind of most important or crucial stage of its mission, an attempt at orbit insertion. Now, they're talking about the timing exactly 7:42 p.m. and I'm just trying to translate here. They're saying that right now, as you know, we are at a very critical stage, and we will enter Mars orbit today, obviously. Yeah. And the message here says, I'm just again trying to translate it by Arabic. The role is to place the instrument the right way. Right. To enter the orbit of Mars. Okay. After its entry to the orbit, we will make sure that the instrument is working well. Okay? So this is what's happening. The Emirates Mars infrared spectrometer will determine the temperature on Mars. All these things, right? It will calculate the amount of dust, the amount of ice, water vapor in the lower atmosphere of Mars.
Because they're desperate to see if we can actually go and live there.
Facts.
So they won all these figures. But they have said that 50% of human missions that have tried before couldn't enter the orbit. It doesn't mean we won't be able to today, but they know that that's the stat. So far, 50% have tried it before and nothing's gone in. So this will be a landmark moment if on the 50th year we're able to do it today.
Yeah, no, 100%, Anna. I mean, there's the Emirates Mars ultraviolet as well spectrometer. This one calculates the oxygen and carbon monoxide. Okay. All these things that we're talking about right now at a given temperature, and it gives you all these details, like you said, Anna, the oxygen, the hydrogen in the upper atmosphere of Mars. So this is all happening, obviously, as we speak right now. And the mission itself, given the fact that the UAE is going to become, hopefully, inshallah, the first Arab country, and obviously the fifth, I think, in the world. Such a big deal. Like people,
huge.
We talked about it yesterday. It's one of those stories that are heard. Many of the motivational speakers, when they come to the UAE, this is the first thing they say. Right. They would talk about, I come from England, I come from France, I come from America, I come from maybe not America, relatively kind of young comparing to Europe. Yeah. But the history of these countries, right? Yeah. Comparing to the UAE. Yeah. 50 years. And with the amount of things, the historic things, the monumental things, the fact that we were able to change the wrong perception people have about, to be honest, Islam, this region, how when I was 5 years ago, speaking to a friend of mine in the UK/US, they're like, do you guys ride camels? I'm like, camels?
Well, of course they think that. Well, did they think you got a camel to work?
Yeah. The American authority thought I have oil in my car, whatever it is, or in my bag.
Those stereotypes are just ridiculous.
It's actually destroying all these. You're right, Anna. The stereotypical kind of.
Yeah, and I think that the UAE has done it. I mean, they're just incredible. The world spotlight is on the UAE right now. But what's interesting is they're saying from 7:30 tonight, the thrusters will begin firing, and they're going to try and obviously they're going to capture the whole thing, and it's going to go into the orbit. A communication delay is going to mean that actually we won't know if the move was a success for
radio silence
30 minutes.
Facts.
So it's going to start at 7:30. We probably won't know till about sort of 8:15.
7:42 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Very.
If it doesn't do it till 7:30, it might be later because we obviously want to be the ones to reveal it in Yalla Home.
Yeah.
We might not make it though because of the communication delay. But it's so exciting that they're doing this.
Just kind of reading like this stat, right? The distance between Earth and Mars 190 million kilometers.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, just both of us are here. We don't come from a scientific background.
No, let's be honest.
We're not saying that. I'm just saying.
numerically
subhanallah. Yeah, I mean, 190 million kilometers.
But then the rockets move, or these space missiles move at like ridiculous kilometers per hour as well. So it's not like a car where we're all pootling along at 120 kilometers an hour. It's like, thousands kilometers per hour.
And obviously, Anna, if you go to your phone today, you'll see that all the hashtags right now, Arabs to Mars. It's on the whether you're to Salat or do I believe it's happening. Arabs to Mars is the official hashtag for that. And I think, look, to be honest with you, yes, proud to be Saudi, proud to be Arab. This is a big moment for us to shine. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of talk, to be honest, about this 50-50 situation, right? And the communication from the government over here, we made history, regardless.
Yeah, they have.
You got to be proud of what you were able to accomplish now. Yep. Now, regardless of what happens, that's...
They're there. They're knocking on the door.
Yeah, as we say in Arabic, this is something in the unknown. We don't know until like a few hours from now, a couple of hours from now, we'll be able to know, and then we'll...
But knowing the UAE as I do...
It's just incredible.
I mean, they're so ambitious. If this doesn't make it, I'll eat my hat.
Let us know how you're feeling, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to hear from you. The UAE is home for 200 plus nationalities. It's all about tolerance, it's about diversity. It's all about that. And that's what makes the UAE what it is. 4215 SMSs. Would love to hear from you. You're the first, the last, my everything.
I thought I was.
Let's go. I'm not talking about you.
Oh.
Definitely got our thing.
Should have said.
We're going to be right back. Anna Schofield, Big Hass, taking over your radio.
We want to hear from you. 4215 anytime.
Yalla Home
With Anna Schofield.
and Big Hass.
Wherever you may be across the UAE, we are here for you. And let's talk pizza, because today is World Pizza Day.
I mean, this is incredible. I never really knew that. But 9th of February apparently marks the day the recipe for pizza arrived hot on the shores of America.
Yeah.
With the opening of the first dedicated restaurant in 1905. It was called Lombardi's Pizzeria in Manhattan. Having first appeared in records in the 10th century, Naples, the world's love affair with pizza goes back a long, long, long way. I think the question is, and then like for me, okay, first of all, what's your favorite kind of pizza? That was
Well,
obvious.
it's funny you should say that, because I once had a real Italian pizza, and it doesn't come out like the big American pizzas that we all sort of chomp along now. It's not like that. The real Italian one had quite a thin crust, and there was some delicious toppings on the top, but the actual thing was thin, very thin.
But what is it? Is it because there's, for example, my vibe is margarita.
Oh,
Just
okay.
a simple one.
Simple, okay.
Yeah. That's definitely it.
Oh no, I like to add some, got pepperoni.
Okay.
Mushrooms. But I'm not a hot and spicy kind of a girl.
No, for me it's margarita. What about you guys?
Like a barbecue chicken, that's quite nice.
Apparently, for example, did you know that margarita pizza was named after Queen Margarita, or that art of making Napoleon pizzas was included on UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage?
No, I didn't know that.
I'm telling you, stuff like that. Facts about pizza, which is just real funny. But also, when you talk about pizza, you also find yourself speaking about burgers. Are you a pizza burger or a burger person?
I think they're completely different. That's like asking if you like curry or sushi. I think so
sushi
different.
for me, hands down.
Yeah, but I'm not asking that question because it depends on the night and it depends on your guests.
Yeah, but let's say you have an option for one. Okay, let me try it. Ray, if people told you burgers or pizza, which one would you go for? Burgers. See, that's right.
Yeah, but that's on the night. So if he's with his wife and his family and they want pizza, then it's probably pizza.
Yeah, but that's not the question I'm asking. You're having both, and you have only a chance to eat one. What would you choose? Come on,
it depends on your mood. It's like shoes. It's like shoes.
Let's say now, 9th of February.
Right now.
It's exactly 5:56 p.m.
It would definitely be pizza because I've been looking through all the pictures.
Okay.
I got there in the end. So you're happy now. You got something out of
I'm
it.
a burger guy.
But I love burgers. I'm not meat burgers. I'm practically vegetarian. So I'm a chicken burger girl.
I'm a chicken burger guy.
Yeah, are you? Yeah, you see, that's
but
not
like
proper
homemade burger right now.
Oh, they're good. Well, when you get the beef and you put the onion in and the...
For me, it's like home. I stopped eating this, to be honest with you, like the outside. Even everything cooked home is really dope.
Yeah.
But this is just,
I agree.
No, I hear you. Depends on the mood. But I just, like it's interesting for me, like how a burger and a pizza. There's always a discussion: burgers or pizza.
But no, because pizza is also healthier. So the kids have learnt, okay, if they ask for burgers or fries or things like that, and I say no, they'll come in from the side with a pitch on the pizza.
Okay.
And their thing to do is they pick a certain pizza type of shop where they know that I'll probably say yes, because actually it's quite good for you. It's not cooked in oil and fat, things like that. And they go, if we have that one, it's healthy, mummy.
Wow.
It's just bread and tomato and cheese.
Smart.
So smart.
Let us know, burger or pizza. What's your favorite pizza? 4215. Celebrating World Pizza Day. We do right here, Pulse 95 Radio. Justin Bieber. Anyone?
Yella Home
With Ella Schofield.
and Big House.
We're going to celebrate the whole Mars thing going on and the UAE's first attempt to sort of land on Mars. So off I go. Now, one of the biggest songs with Mars in the title is called Ballroom on Mars by a band called T-Rex. Hands up, guys, if anyone has heard of T-Rex. If you haven't, don't feel bad. It's one of those parental grandparent things if you had, or if you're into glam rock, because we're talking about going back to the 1960s. 1967
Wow,
is actually
that's why.
when T-Rex was thought. Yeah.
We're not able to find even the
And
instrumental.
I just caused chaos because I'm saying to Ray, yeah, it's T-Rex, and I sent him the song and everything, and he's going, Anna, I can't find anything that has a bed. You know where you get the music without the lyrics. And I'm saying it doesn't matter, just send over what you can. Then Haas got involved, and then of course when we tried to play it, nothing happened. So that's quite interesting. That's because the band, I'm going way back, people, but it's important because this song, Ballroom on Mars, is important. We're celebrating today, but also it was a good excuse to talk about T-Rex. So they were an English rock band formed in 1967 by Mark Bolan. Mark Bolan is super famous. Mark Bolan started a generation of glam rock. He's the one that everyone knows for starting. So David Bowie was inspired by Mark Bolan. And remember that every fabulous, amazing artist has inspiration. He's watched someone or she's watched someone and gone, okay, there's me in that, I'm going to find myself. So it's quite an interesting story. They were originally called Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they released 4 psychedelic folk albums. Psychedelic folk albums, people. Really funny. So we're talking proper hippie movement at this point. And then in 1969, Bolan began, and he was the major songwriter, Mark Bolan. He began to change the band's style towards kind of electric rock, and he shortened their name to T-Rex the following year. This was much more marketing friendly, much more easy. And actually, can you spell Tyrannosaurus Rex? If you try and spell it, it's chaos. Go, Haas. Spell Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Well, that was... go.
Say it again.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannosaurus. Terrance.
Beautiful. No, not even a little bit. It's like 16 letters. So the funny thing, they did a sort of a quiz a few years ago, some research. They found that kids can spell at the age of like 6 and 7.
Easy.
Can spell all the dinosaur names because they love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And then they started to go, goodness, adults can't.
Yeah.
So to spell Tyrannosaurus Rex, it's T-Y.
Woo.
Yeah. R-A, Tyrann, and then double N, and then into the saurus, which all the dinosaurs have.
Ooh.
Tyrannosaurus Rex. Anyway, so Mark Bolan goes, right, let's just cut out the Tyrannus, and we'll just cut to the T-Rex, which made it super cool. And this culminated in a song called Ride a White Swan in 1970, and they became the glam rock movement. So from 1970 to 1973, massive popularity in the UK, same as the Beatles. They were just everywhere. 11 singles in the top 10. They had UK number ones. Hot Love. Oh, Get It On. You know that one.
Let's get it on.
No.
Let's
not
get
that
it on.
one.
Marvin Gaye.
Move Marvin out the way.
I can't move Marvin anywhere, fam.
Move Marvin. I'm talking about... come on, it's rock. It's proper raw.
You gotta sing it, You gotta get it on, get it on.
Get it on. Dun, dun. Oh, come on. You
get
know.
it on. Dun, 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 get it on. This one? Oh, they sing it?
They sing that.
No. What big difference from that one.
Telegram Sam as well. Telegram Sam is another one. Super. These are my parents were so hippie-ish, so I remember them. And all
Incredible.
This stuff. They released an album in '71 called Electric Warrior, critical acclaim everywhere, and that's where glam rock was, doing its thing. And then they had an album called Slider that slid into the top 20. Everyone lied.
Slide in the DM situation in 1960. Ooh.
Yeah. So T-Rex with Slider was a big deal. And the constant member of the band was Mark Bolan. But 1977, he was in a terrible car crash, and that was the end of him. Really, really awful. And that was just after the release of the group's, obviously, final album, Dandy in the Underworld. But these guys were mental. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year, in 2020. Only last year were they put in there. So they formed from psychedelic sort of folk with a big name into this glam rock era. You've got the most amazing artists stating Mark Bolan as being the one who inspired, one of those being David Bowie. There was a very famous DJ called John Peel on Radio 1, and we're going back in the day. I've heard of John Peel. I feel like he's still alive. And he was championing the band very early. And when John Peel, it was that time of radio when a presenter or a radio host got behind you, you were in, because he just kept playing their stuff. And that's how they became famous. It's an amazing thing to listen to. They went on to Top of the Pops, and this is described so beautifully in the research that I did. So the Top of the Pops was this amazing program that ran for like 50 years in the UK.
Wow.
Everyone used to watch it. We all used to watch it. I watched it as a kid. You tune in to Top of the Pops. It was on a Wednesday night, and it was the countdown from the top 30. And then they would play the number one song. T-Rex went on there, and Mark Bolan's the lead singer. This guy rocks up. He's wearing glitter. He's got satin on. He's got jewels on. He's not really playing an instrument. He's lumping around stage, being wild with a microphone, crazy hair, makeup. Didn't in any way look feminine. Just was doing his thing. And that was when everybody went, oh, wow, okay. And right there you had glam rock. So you've got bands like Def Leppard and Bon Jovi stating that he was an inspiration and a leader for what he brought to it. Ringo Starr talked about him from the Beatles. Just, big things. And Telegram Sam, I need to play Telegram Sam from the album The Slider. And I need to I need to also play Get It On, the right version, not with Hassan I strumming it. But the song I'm going to play today, obviously, so it's relative to us, is Ballroom on Mars. And that's what I wanted to bring you. I'm not going to lie, it caused controversy in this studio, and everyone went, really, are we playing this? It's proper psychedelic hippie craziness from Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yellow Home
With Ella Schofield.
and Big House.
Driving you across all the Emirates. Hope you're having a good drive home tonight, wherever you may be. And of course, whenever I say that, I've now started thinking about people who are taking tests on the way home. I've got lots of friends who have to take COVID tests on the way home. If you're driving from our lovely capital to any other emirate, you're going to have to be taking a test. So we are on in your car, and it's nice to have us with you. We need to talk about the Critics' Choice Film nominations, because it's come out, the 2021 Critics' Choice Awards, and Netflix, once again, has made history with a record number of Best Picture nominations. It's amazing.
4 Best Pictures nominations by Netflix. Record-setting number for any studio in the history of the CCA, they're saying. So, incredible. The movies are The Five Bloods from the legendary Spike Lee. And then you got Ma Rainey, Black Bottom.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom,
George C. Wolfe, and then Mank from David Fincher, and then Aaron Sorkin's The Trial of the Chicago 7, represented for the platform, which is really, again, very interesting.
Have you seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom?
Not yet.
Okay, so I watched it. Quite odd. Yeah, I wasn't blown away.
It's subjective again. I think, like when you say
art is subjective,
Facts.
but I wanted to be properly blown away, and I think the actors were incredibly good. I don't know whether people are nominating the message more than the actual. But I mean, they've done a making of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom as well. So there's two things you can actually on Netflix at the moment watch Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and then you can watch the making of it, talking to the actors, and there's some serious actors in there. But yeah, Chadwick Boseman got a posthumous nomination, which is obviously incredible. But the big one is Mank. It's got 12 nominations: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Original Screenplay, everything. And that's about Hollywood, 1930s Hollywood. So I want to see that.
I think, not just to divert from this, I just think that social media generally and platforms like Netflix has really given a voice that the powers that may be will never have given, to be honest. Imagine there's no these platforms. We were talking off air how Clubhouse is, how Twitter, Instagram. The fact that I can reach Shaquille O'Neal right now if he answered his DM. That's just a guy I reach without his agents or whatever. And just funny fact about Shaq, he's been replying to people who send hate messages. And I've been trying to force myself to say something hateful to him, but I can't. I love him. But he's replying to people that are saying, hey, you're a bad, terrible player. And he replies, and they're like happy. I'm like, I cannot say you're a terrible player just to get a reply from you, Shaq.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just think it's really incredible. The fact of the matter that you go to Netflix, you go and you find out what's actually trending in your country, what's new, what's not. The technology that we've reached is just, I really wish my father, may his soul rest in peace, was here just to, I don't know if he would acknowledge what's happening, because it's a big shift.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, sometimes some of it is so fast, I want to press pause. Like, did you ever feel that? Just, it's such a gallop. All of it, all the time. We're able to literally choose every second of our lives.
You bring a very important point musically, for example, Instagram. A lot of these artists are so fascinated about Instagram.
Right.
Not only artist, people. Well, guess what? You don't own Instagram. So if Instagram disappears, if your whole life is on Instagram, you disappear with it. And they were talking about this earlier on Clubhouse. Someone was suggesting, do you have a website? A lot of artists in the UAE are complaining you don't have a website. So if Instagram crashes, if your account got deleted, you're gone.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of level, you're right, Anna. How do you push all your eggs in one basket is wrong. Like kind of try to understand, like, it might crash any second. It's technology.
Yeah, and also take a breath and make something that's strong and that's real, because it feels very tangible. Everything feels very tangible, very instant, very throwaway. I was actually in a meeting today and they were talking about marketing, brand new concept and the marketing of it. And I had one person in the meeting, I was listening. One person in the meeting was going, well, I'm actually a believer in flyers. Okay. And someone else said, Instagram, all we need to do is market here. And the person who was talking about flyers turned around and said, the thing is, when I did that last year or the year before, the thing that made the most impact was the old-fashioned, tangible flyer. And he said people took it home. They took it home and they had it in front of them. He said the problem with Instagram is information comes at such a speed, it literally layers itself and you forget. So what you're exposed to at 10 a.m. in the morning, you've probably forgotten by 4 p.m. It's all gone. It's all gone. It's renewed. Everything is instant. So you might be interested in something at 10 a.m. in the morning, but if you put your phone down, that'll have gone 2 hours later.
Wow.
And so
Good point.
But I was sitting there listening to these two going, this is really interesting.
It is. And you know what's interesting? You bring a very good point, Anna, that inspired me to just Google this. Warner Brothers started in 1923.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Netflix, 1997. Okay. The fact of the matter that they are now obviously in the same category, like as a platform and because Netflix is producing films, obviously. It's not like it's not just a platform to put on. They're producing these films, amazing, incredible films.
Creating content.
So 1997, 1923. Wow. We got the same vibe and maybe even stronger for the guys at Netflix, you know? So I just think that it doesn't mean that you're old, that you have a priority these days. It's just how talented and you said a very nice point where people really forget easily now.
Yeah, we do. Everyone does.
It's like very skimmable content and it's, quick.
And do you even, the stories when it clocks up how many people have actually watched your story? If you were talking yesterday, you fill your 15 seconds and actually someone younger than you had said to you, just do 5 and then do another story. because actually I skim through stories and it's clocking up that I'm looking at everyone's stories. 2 seconds, I'm like blip,
Wow.
blip. And to be honest, if I waste half an hour doing that, I then go, that's half an hour of my life I'm never getting back. Because I don't want to know what someone's had for breakfast, how they stroked a chicken, what they did when they got home with their oven. No, but that's what people are posting. Do you know what, Hass? I'm not interested. But I find myself compelled to watch, and that's when I'm over it.
But
that's
see,
when I go,
it's interesting
enough.
you say that, because this is the type of person you are. I know you for 3 years right now. You're not really not drawn. It doesn't really maybe the word is not interest. For other people, it's more like an addiction to be verified and validated by other people.
Okay.
You don't need that because you're great with who you are, which is a great message. Other people, sadly, if you actually shut down their phone, they'll be like, what am I supposed to do right now? I'm like, talk, watch a movie, chill.
Be.
You know, chill, just be.
Or do you know what? Design something properly. That whole thing about having a website, that really struck a chord with me. And notice that Netflix, who has done this amazing thing, they started off as a platform playing other people's, stuff, visual stuff. What did they do? Immediately, the minute they got big, they started to create their own. They're now filmmakers. That is actually old-fashioned. That's going back. They wanted to be real. They're not a platform anymore. You've got to think of it like that. And you could create the most amazing snippet for Instagram. It's gone within 12 hours. The kids are onto something else. Everyone's forgotten you. And that's the one thing I find annoying about a story. You could spend time doing a story on Instagram because you're always going, Anna, fan, do stories. And I'll spend an hour doing it. Next day, I've got to do it again. It drives me mad. At least when you post a picture, it stays there.
You're right.
So,
obviously, the Critics' Choice Awards will air on the CW
Oh, yes, we were talking about that.
on Sunday, March 7th. But in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Critics' Choice Awards will be an in-person/virtual hybrid show with the host Tayi Diggs and some of the presenters filming from a stage in Los Angeles, while nominees appear remotely from various locations around the world. And that's taking place, like I said, March 7th, airing on CW, which will happen to be a Sunday. And of course, we'll give you the updates of that. But incredible. Netflix making history. Not really surprised, to be honest.
No. No.
But that's the way the cookie crumbles. What do they
They've
say?
made themselves filmmakers.
100%. Facts.
Yellow Home
With Anna Schofield.
and Big Hass.
12 minutes past 7. We are, of course, watching the probe. We are probing here at Yellow Home. I think the whole of the UAE is watching as the Mars probe heads for Mars. Very exciting. It's called Hope. Let's just quickly talk about the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl literally 2 days ago. Very exciting. Very exciting show. We had The Weeknd there. HER performed. Miley Cyrus performed as well, didn't she? Super good. But in between, of course, there are the adverts. And the adverts for the Super Bowl are the most expensive TV commercials of all time. So if you want airtime during the Super Bowl, you're paying through the nose. Lots of big brands did it. Pepsi is always one that does it. But this year, Jeep did one. The car, Jeep. And apparently, the advert highlighted America's long-standing tradition of naming towns after Lebanon. Did you know that there are 40 places named after Middle East country Lebanon?
I didn't know. I didn't know. 40?
40.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure, are they named after the country Lebanon? Which will be interesting, like why? What is the reason? Which will
So
be interesting to find out.
they're explaining. So there's a place in Kansas standing on the center of the lower 48. I'm just trying to find out because it said, here's why. So this is talking about Bruce Springsteen because he was in it. Lebanon, Kansas, named after a city over in Kentucky. Lebanon, renowned for its Special Days Festival and Tractor Show. Oh, come on. I want to know why. Hang on. Stand by. The answer is the same. Numerous mentions of Lebanon's cedar trees apparently has meant that early settlers in America saw lush green areas and took inspiration from Lebanon and the descriptions of Lebanon, and they named it. That's going back some.
Definitely going back. I'm just kind of reading even further.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Puritan settlers where they made their homes.
The reasons there were so many Lebanons in the United States, and it's because Lebanon is also a biblical reference, and as a Christian missionaries first settled across the U.S., they named their new towns after names that inspired them.
Yeah.
This is mainly it. And obviously with this ad that we're talking about, it's a super ad for Jeep, has Bruce Springsteen visiting the U.S. Center Chapel in Lebanon, Kansas. And, they made that ad, which is very interesting. I've always thought it's always interesting for me to see Lebanon, and people wouldn't understand, what do you mean Lebanon, the U.S. and stuff? It's a town,
What do you
obviously.
mean Kansas? What do you mean Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
They've all got them.
They all got
40 different Lebanons. So it's the early settlers that went over, and every time they saw something lush and beautiful, it was such a special name to them. They named it Lebanon. So now you've got 40 different types of Lebanon. There you go.
100%. Ladies and gentlemen, we are with you guys until 8 p.m. Definitely a historic day in the UAE. We were live updating you with the UAE's Hope probe as it prepares to enter Mars orbit. Minutes left, and everybody is really staying tuned. The UAE will reach the furthest point in space in Arab history, as obviously makes its grand entry to Mars today at 7:42, which is in half an hour from now, less than half an hour from now. This is happening, which is just remarkable and incredible.
If you liked this episode of Yalla Home, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.